If there's one thing we've learned about Bill Belichick, it is that he will not stop adding to the trenches with 3 more huge portal ads, literally, potentially figuratively, but definitely huge portal ads on the defensive line. As we get almost to May, he is still adding to that front four. Welcome to Group Chat Sports. Like and subscribe. Give me the latest in all kinds of transactions, portal moves, recruiting, everything else across the college football landscape. And we love to cover the UNC Tar Heels and Bill Belichick because it's a fascinating experiment in team building. And if you looked at Bill Belichick back when he was the defensive coordinator for the Giants, then when he was in New England with guys like Richard Seymour, Vince Wilfork, he wants mass on the defensive line. Yes, pass rush is great. If you have a Lawrence Taylor, incredible. But he wants guys that can hold the point, provide length, width, and just pure power on the defensive line. Those body types are hard to find at the college level, much easier when you can draft them. So what he's doing, I think, is just throwing numbers at the problem and hoping with these many body types, he will have a front four that he is proud of at the ACC level. And I think he's doing a heck of a job in terms of finding enough guys to give you a chance to play that type of defense. So with these 3 new commits, which we'll get into here in the portal, he now has 7 defensive linemen by my count over 260 pounds from the portal. That's 7 just from the portal alone, over 260 pounds. So let's get started with Joseph Mupui, the defensive end from Penn State, redshirt sophomore, commits to the Tar Heels. This is a guy who is originally from the Congo. So unique background here as we turn on the film on Mupui. But this is a guy originally from the Congo, basketball player, and he can really get after it. Just from a talent standpoint, 4.5 shuttle, entering into his he was going into his 4th year at Penn State as a redshirt junior. Redshirt sophomore. He's got 3 seasons of eligibility left, but decides to make the move from Penn State to UNC. Will have a better chance of playing time. Second Penn State defensive lineman to come aboard after Smith Vilbert. Again, the basketball background you could see in his movement skills. He has a verified 4.5 shuttle. He's not someone who's produced a lot, right? We're talking about a redshirt in 2023, then last year as a redshirt freshman, 2 games for Penn State, had a tackle on the season. It was developmental squad defensive player of the week twice. So again, not someone who had played a ton, but someone who has those developmental traits, and you understand why they're raw because of that pure basketball background. He was not a football player until late in his high school career. Started off in D.C., then moved on to Connecticut in high school before signing with Penn State. But the movement, the size, we mentioned at the top, this guy's 6'5", 285, very similar in size to Smith Vilbert, who's joining him from Penn State as an older player. Penn State's a school that's known for just tremendous athletes, tremendous body types. But look, if you're not developing at a rapid pace, you could get lost in the shuffle there. They have first rounder after first rounder. So a school like UNC playing in the ACC, which is starting from a lower place, is a quicker chance for playing time. That's what this guy needs. Also needs development. Who better to develop than a staff led by one of the best coaches in football history? So I think this is definitely a traits play, but there's not that many guys walking the earth that are 6'5", 285 with a 4.5 shuttle and the ability to move like you were seeing in these highlights. So I think, is he going to be, stand-up rusher? Probably not, maybe more of a 2-gapping defensive end just because of the length and size at 6'5", 280. That length allows him to get his arms out there and cover space as a 2-gap player, meaning he's covering 2 gaps at once as opposed to getting upfield. And at 285, he has the power to hold the point. But if he does need to, shift to more of a pure pass rush role, he has the athleticism to do so, as you see on these highlights where, he's standing up, showing the lateral quickness there, showing a versatile skill set. So I'm not sure exactly how they're going to use Mupui, but I think the combination of length, size, and athleticism gives you some options. Even if you push him inside on pass rush downs and let him go to work that way, similar to, a guy like Greg Rousseau was used at the Miami Hurricanes, another big-bodied guy who was raw. There you see him there playing inside. You could see that as well. He gives you options with the body type and that versatility. This is definitely a traits play, like I said, not someone with a lot of production, but someone who has the stuff that you can't coach. And that's why Bill Belichick brought in Joseph Mupui. Shifting gears to somebody who more also a basketball player actually, but more of a traditional background, and that is DeAndre Robinson from Florida. 6'3" and a half, 315 pounds, 35-inch arms, 10-inch hands. I mean, this is a monster. Played some basketball, originally signed with Texas out of Orlando, Florida. Then his coach at Texas left for LSU, so that freed him up to re-enter the pool, so to speak. And then he ended up signing with Florida. He didn't redshirt. He played 11 games, started a game, 162 snaps, 17 tackles, 3 for loss, 1.5 sacks, and really flashed, particularly when it comes to getting in the backfield, making plays, causing hurries. And we will put on the film here for DeAndre Robinson. He's somebody the Gators really wanted to keep around. More of an advanced player than Mupui, who's very much a developmental player. You know, Robinson is an upside player, but he's someone who played for Florida. And when you watch his film, Orlando Jones is a good school. They were the state championship this year. They're a perennial contender. And I mean, you see just the massive frame that this guy brings. More of a pure defensive tackle inside player than Mupui. And he has twitch for being a big guy. He's not a big slug. Of all the 3 guys we're talking about here, I think this is the one who has the most upside and potential, just based on what he showed in the SEC as a true freshman. Was a lock to be in U.S. rotation, probably going to be the 3rd defensive tackle, potentially a starter. Did start a game as a true freshman. So you watch him here. I mean, look at that. How many guys can make diving interceptions like that? 35-inch arms, which is going to be in the higher end for a defensive tackle. So you see him lock out there, extend, get to the quarterback. And this is a big-time talent. That's why you see schools like Texas in the mix for him. Texas doesn't just go to Orlando, Florida for any kind of player. And I think this is somebody who you look at, there's depth guys, there's just adding body types. I think this is a guy who you're bringing in to start and make an impact. That's my prediction. I don't know if that's how it plays out. But of these 3 guys, I think that DeAndre Robinson is the one, just having watched him at Florida, that has a chance to come in and start at the ACC level. He had a chance to start at the SEC level this year for the Florida Gators. So tremendous pickup for Bill Belichick here. This is the guy that I'm particularly excited about. But that wasn't it, right? You could have stopped there, but Bill Belichick went and landed another 300-plus pound body with Isaiah Johnson out of Arizona. Played high school football in Chandler, Arizona, but originally from Camden, New Jersey. You see Bill Belichick working that Northeast corridor for a lot of players. 6'1", 310, 2 years of eligibility. Visited Tennessee, then UNC, so he's in the mix with some big-time schools, and somebody who he's more experienced than some of these other folks. We talk about the fact that this is a class of 22 player, redshirt in 22, played a little bit in 23, and then played 10 games here in 24, 8 tackles, pair of sacks. Ty Nichols, the defensive assistant coach for North Carolina, played in Arizona, so he's familiar with the player. And it's, is this guy going to be an All-America? I mean, you hope so, but I'm not sure that's what you're getting with Isaiah Johnson. But I know what you're getting in terms of a body type and an older guy, someone who's, again, class of 2022. So he's been in the weight room. He's been banging in practice. Even if he's not playing tremendous amount of snaps early in his career, he's in practice getting reps, and he's in the weight room getting stronger, just physically maturing from that Chandler, Arizona program, which is just an NFL factory and a college football factory. So he's been coached well. Was part of that Arizona team that did a really nice job for Jed Fish 2 years ago. Been around some winning programs, and I think this is somebody who has a chance to help you as a rotational piece. And they know about him. Ty Nichols was there with him, so it's not like you're getting a lemon that no one knows about. Your defensive assistant coached this guy and saw what he could do in practice, saw what he could do every day. So he's giving you a fair evaluation, saying, hey, this is a guy I think we could. I know what we have. I know what we don't have. And I think this guy right here can help us. So another big body as we watch his high school film here to add to the room. This is, again, I said at the top, this is your 7th portal addition over 260 pounds, which when you're Bill Belichick, he likes big defensive linemen playing right to his type with these additions. You had Kamari House. You had some nice defensive backs. You've added some frontline talent through this portal class. But size-wise, I think is where you're going to see the biggest difference body type-wise on both sides of the ball. You had a Jordan Hall, who's absolutely enormous to protect Gio Lopez or whoever ends up at quarterback. Earlier, you added Mekhi Gabair at linebacker, someone that can run and hit. Daniel King, an absolute monster from Troy. So, William Boone, big-bodied guy from Prairie View A&M, stepping up in competition. So on the offensive line, you've added some size, and Chad Lindbergh from Rice, Miles McVay. These are some big, big boys. But really, what strikes me is that defensive line with Abu Jade from Delaware, with CJ Mims from East Carolina. These are guys we all made videos, by the way. If you want to go back and look at some of our North Carolina videos, just search the channel, like and subscribe. We went over all these guys when they signed. Price Yates from UConn, big guy with some upside, 4-star transfer. He's another one that I think has real big upside in the portal. Smith Vilbert, who we talked about earlier, 6'6", 282 from Penn State. And then, of course, the three here, DeAndre Robinson, another 4-star transfer, Joseph Mupui, and Isaiah Johnson. Bill Belichick adding some size in the portal and doing his part to make sure that North Carolina looks the right way up front. Remember to like and subscribe to this channel. We'll break down all the moves that North Carolina makes, recruiting, portal, coaching, you name it, as we head towards the season, which is going to be a very exciting one. See what happens here with this unique experiment in Chapel Hill. So you can see I'm in Chapel Hill right now. So like, subscribe. See you tomorrow.